अच्छा जी, तो टुडे वी आर डूइंग केमिस्ट्री 2022 मई जून पेपर 41 सही। तो फर्स्ट वेरिएट ऑफ पेपर 4 और लेट्स बिगिन। The first question says a list of substances is shown: aluminum oxide, carbon dioxide, chlorine, diamond, ethanol, glucose, iron 3 oxide, limestone, nitrogen, and oxygen. Answer the questions using the list of substances. Each substance may be used once, more than once, or not at all. State which of the substances is a reactant in photosynthesis. All right, so which of them reacts in photosynthesis? So for that, you need to know the whole equation of photosynthesis. The whole equation of photosynthesis is C6H12O6 plus oxygen. Sorry. C6 C6H12O6 is the product, right? ठीक है। तो प्रोडक्ट जो है आपके पास बनती कैसे है? इन फोटोसिंथेसिस यू रिएक्ट कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड विद वाटर, ठीक है, एंड यू प्रोड्यूस ग्लूकोज C6H12O6 एंड यू प्रोड्यूस ऑक्सीजन, ठीक है। So yeah, this is the equation for photosynthesis. The equation for respiration is the opposite of it. We don't need to know about it in chemistry, ठीक है। सही है। तो in this, the reactants are carbon dioxide and water. So any one of these two must be mentioned over here, and it is in fact mentioned. Carbon dioxide is mentioned over here, so we write the answer. We write carbon dioxide. ठीक है। One thing we have to keep in mind about this uh, situation, this reactions, these answers, ठीक है। तो the answer that we have to provide should be exactly looking like the answer question, the thing, the choice that is present over here. सही है। तो how can we ensure that? अगर यहाँ पे formula लिखा होता, write formula over here. If it was written in name, then you have to write it name in words, ठीक है। सही है। As
Yes, sir.
so next is, what is the main constituent of bauxite? Now, bauxite was an ore of aluminum, right? And the main constituent of bauxite is aluminum oxide, all right? So the second answer is aluminum oxide. Next question is, dash are two products of fermentation. All right, तो fermentation और fermentation किसकी होती है? fermentation यूजुअली ग्लूकोज की होती है, ठीक है। तो fermentation ऑफ ग्लूकोज जो है, जो आपको पता भी होनी चाहिए, इट इज इन द चैप्टर अल्कोहल्स, C6H12O6 प्लस ऑक्सीजन, ठीक है। या फिर इनफैक्ट देयर इज नो ऑक्सीजन, इट्स anaerobic, right? Gives us two things. It gives us C2H5OH, ethanol, and it gives us carbon dioxide. All right, it gives us ethanol and carbon dioxide, right? To balance the equation, we put a 2 over here and a 2 over here, and equation gets balanced this way, ठीक है। सही है। तो जो हमारे पास जो दो प्रोडक्ट्स हैं, कौन कौन है? इथेनॉल एंड कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, बिकॉज दे आर रिटन इन नेम्स, इन वर्ड्स। इथेनॉल होना चाहिए, ये रहा इथेनॉल, ठीक है। तो बिकॉज दे आर रिटन इन words, we will write them in words as well. Ethanol and carbon dioxide. All right. If they ask you a useful function of fermentation, because they sometimes ask you the industrial purpose of fermentation, it is to make ethanol in beverage industry or in medical industry, right? Because ethanol is an antibacterial, antiseptic agent. It kills bacteria. It is good for cleaning wounds. So it is used in sterilizing equipment. ठीक है, तो ethanol is a good solvent as well. So many uses of ethanol. And carbon dioxide is used in bread making industry. So fermentation could be used in many different industries. In bread making industry, it is used because of it produces carbon dioxide. In medical industry or sterilizing cleaning industry, it is used because it produces ethanol, ठीक है। Is used as a fuel. So what is used as a fuel? Many different things are used as fuel. Let's have a look. We know that ionic compounds and covalent compounds are generally not used as fuels. So this is cancelled, this is cancelled, this is cancelled, this is cancelled. Organic compounds are used as fuels. Ethanol is called a biofuel. ठीक है। Glucose is not really considered a fuel. We don't see it being used as a fuel. ठीक है। Iron oxide is an ionic compound. No, no, no. So ethanol should be the right answer. once again, right? So ethanol is used as a fuel, ethanol. All right, and I will write in front of it, it is a bio fuel. And we know that ethanol is an alcohol, and alcohols, they have good combustibility. So anything that has good combustibility, good flammability, anything that burns easily can be used as a good fuel. Okay. Next question is a gas used to convert iron into steel. How do we convert iron into steel? अच्छा भाई, देखें जी, आयरन को स्टील में कन्वर्ट करना, that was that is removed from your syllabus from 2023 onwards. It is not part of your syllabus anymore. ठीक है, converting iron to steel or purifying iron further after it is obtained from the blast furnace, those are not part of the syllabus anymore. ठीक है, those are not part of the syllabus anymore. However, अगर यहाँ पर कोई आंसर आपको कन्वर्टिंग आयरन टू स्टील का है तो वो है ऑक्सीजन से, तो वी यूज ऑक्सीजन टू कन्वर्ट आयरन टू स्टील. हाउ बेसिकली आयरन से स्टील में कन्वर्ट होने के लिए वी नीड टू रिड्यूस द कार्बन कंटेंट ऑफ द आयरन. बेसिकली जब आयरन बन के निकलता है, इट्स 96% प्योर, 4% is still impurities जब blast furnace से निकलता है. That 4% impurity contains a lot of unburnt carbon and coal. सही है, थोड़ा सा ब्लैक ब्लैक राख उर्दू में कह लो या सूट कह लो. The unburnt carbon of coke is going to come out of the blast furnace along with the molten iron. ठीक है, हम ऑक्सीजन के साथ उसकी मजीद बर्निंग कराते हैं तो होता ये है कि जो आपके पास जो कार्बन कंटेंट है ना, दैट गेट्स रिमूव्ड. ठीक है, और स्टील के अंदर ओनली 1% कार्बन कंटेंट होता है. तो दिस इज हाउ वी कैन कन्वर्ट कार्बन आयरन इनटू स्टील, राइट? तो इसका आंसर वैसे ऑक्सीजन है, बट इट हैज बीन रिमूव्ड सिंस 2023. ठीक है, रिमूव्ड फ्रॉम सिलेबस नाउ. You will no longer see the making of steel. ठीक है, is a greenhouse gas. We all know ऊपर carbon dioxide लिखा हुआ था. Nothing else is a better greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. Well, methane is also a very good greenhouse gas. Constitute 78%. ऊपर कहीं nitrogen लिखा होना चाहिए. Nitrogen is 78% in the air. ठीक है, is a form of carbon. Is a form of carbon. Carbon is an element, right? Carbon is an element, and carbon has many allotropes, right? The three allotropes of carbon, or not the three allotropes, the two allotropes of carbon that you know of. Well, you now know of three essentially, but two essential ones are diamond and graphite, right? जो कि हम पढ़ते हुए आ रहे होते हैं from chapter number 4, chemical bonding, the part covalent bonding, the part giant covalent compounds, diamond and graphite, right? These are the two elements that are present in uh, these are the two forms that carbon is present as an element in. Other than that, we also have studied that coke, which is 99.9% pure form of carbon, is also a form of carbon that is present. So over here, which is the right answer? We see that diamond is mentioned over here, therefore the right answer must be diamond. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे हम लोग आंसर लिख देंगे diamond लिख देंगे. Next question. Atoms are made of protons, neutrons, and electrons. Atoms of same elements are known as isotopes. Complete the table. तो टेबल कंप्लीट करना है बेटा. तो इलेक्ट्रॉन का relative charge, what is the relative charge of electron? The relative charge of electron is -1, right? Electron has a -1 charge. The next is neutron. What is the relative charge of neutron? Neutron has no relative charge. We know that neutron is a neutral particle. ठीक है, the relative mass and relative charge means relative charge compared to the other one. Relative mass means mass compared to the other one. यानी कि मिसाल के तौर पे when we say the neutron has a relative mass of 1, because neutron has a relative mass of 1, what is this one? This one is the atomic mass unit. But in reality, the mass of neutron is not 1, it is 2.6 into 10 to the power minus 27 kilograms. All right, so it is an extremely small mass. 2.67 है या 1.67 है, so it is an extremely small mass. in reality. But when we compare the mass of neutron to the mass of proton, क्योंकि प्रोटॉन का मास भी वन कंसिडर किया जाता है एज इट्स मास इज आल्सो 2.6 into 10 to the power minus 27 kilograms, ठीक है? तो their masses are same. तो if I was to balance out on a pan balance, ठीक है, एक pan balance लूं and I was to put one neutron over here, then how many protons would I have to put over here so that the balance is completely balanced? I would just need to put one proton on this side as well because they are of equal mass, right? They will balance each other. One proton will balance one neutron, right? So this is basically what relative means. This is what relative means, right? Relative means के कितना compared to the others mass है उसका, ठीक है? तो relative mass and relative charge is that, okay? अच्छा, इसी तरह से relative charge, actual charge of electron and proton. Actual charge of electron and proton is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. Electron, because it is negative, so the charge is negative. Coulombs में होता है charge, right? In physics, we study their charges in coulombs. And protons का actual charge 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, but positive because proton is positive, right? So the charges are also extremely small. Coulombs में charge होता है, and their actual charges and actual masses are not what you need to remember for O levels or IGCSE at least, ठीक है? सही है? तो फिलहाल तो आपको 1 1 ही याद रखना है। खैर, उसके बाद नेक्स्ट चीज हमारे पास है 24 12 मैग्नीशियम, 25 12 मैग्नीशियम आर आइसोटोप्स। Complete the table to show the number of electrons, neutrons, and protons in these isotopes of magnesium. Well, another easy question. Number of electrons should be equal to number of protons as there is no charge. The charge is zero on magnesium, right? So electrons should be 12 as this is the number of protons, ठीक है? And neutrons would be 24 minus 12, which is equal to 12, right? ठीक है? Why do we do 24 minus 12? Because number of neutrons are calculated by subtracting the atomic mass from the atomic number. All right, over here is 12 12 and then this will be 13 because 25 minus 12 would be 13. Let me just write that down as well. 25 minus 12 equals to 13, ठीक है? Explain why magnesium ions have charge of 2 plus. Because they lose 2 electrons. Why do magnesium ions? Because they lose their 2 valence electrons to become stable, right? So that is why magnesium ions have a charge of 2 positive because they lose their 2 electrons to become stable, ठीक है? Next question is Mg2 plus ions have the electronic structure 2 8. Give the formula of the following particles which have the same electronic structure as Mg2 plus ions. A cation, an anion, an atom. ठीक है भाई. तो we have to write any cation. We have to write any cation that has the electronic configuration of 2 8 as well. ठीक है? तो Mg की 2 8 है. Now if you look at the periodic table, periodic table has sodium, then it has magnesium in group 2, and then in group 3 it has aluminum, right? Sodium loses 1 electron to become plus 1 charge, magnesium loses 2 electron to become plus 2 charge, and aluminum loses 3 electron to become plus 3 charge. ठीक है? We generally say this is a general statement that you at your level can uh, understand, recall, and remember. ठीक है? सही है? And the general statement is that metals from the same period after losing different number of electrons have the same electronic configuration, right? We say that metals from the same period, or not just metals, let's say group metals. Group metals of the same period after becoming cations have same electronic configurations. ठीक है, तो after they become cations they have same electronic configurations, यानी कि मैग्नीशियम के ग्रुप में जो सोडियम है it would have the same electronic configuration after it has gained a positive charge. ठीक है, and जो आपके पास सोडियम के अलावा the other one, which one is the other one? Aluminum, right? Periodic table में period में magnesium के period में aluminum है the one with plus charge. Both of them would have the electronic configuration after they become cations of 2,8. Let's see. Sodium has an atomic number of 11, as you know from the periodic table, right? That means it has 11 electrons naturally. If it has a plus 1 charge, that means it lost 1 electron. So now it has 10 electrons. Electronic configuration of 10 electrons is 2,8. Similarly, aluminum has an atomic number of 13, which means that aluminum originally has 13 electrons. If it loses 3 electrons, now it has 10, or 10 की electronic configuration will be 2,8. So these guys also have the electronic configuration of 2,8, which is the electronic configuration of Mg2 plus. ठीक है, तो ये बात हमें याद रखनी होती है. What is that? We have to remember. We have to remember that group metals of same period, once they become cations by losing electrons, they have same electronic configuration, right? So sodium, magnesium, aluminum, their cations have same electronic configuration. Now let's talk about an anion having a 2,8 configuration. So the anions, because they gain electrons, and look at this magnesium, once it's become a cation, once it's lost electrons, it only has two shells, right? It only has two shells. It resembles the electronic configuration of the previous period, right? Because magnesium itself is in period 3, meaning it should have three shells, but it does not have three shells. It has two shells now after losing electrons. सही है. अब anions जो हैं they don't lose shells, उनके shells तो कम नहीं होते, right? तो अगर हम मैग्नीशियम के पीरियड की बात करें तो मैग्नीशियम के पीरियड में एल्यूमिनियम के बाद आपके पास जो है सिलिकॉन आता है, which we don't even consider that it loses or gains electrons, उसको रख दो. Phosphorus, sulfur and then chlorine आता है, right? Phosphorus, sulfur and chlorine. Phosphorus gains 3 electrons, right? तो उसके 3 शेल मुकम्मल हो जाते हैं, उसका शेल कम नहीं होता. Sulfur also gains 2 electrons, उसके भी 3 शेल मुकम्मल हो जाते हैं. It completes its 3 shells, right? It doesn't decrease in the number of shells. Its valence shells, मतलब its shells do not decrease. ठीक है. But if you look at the period above them, right? So above them you have elements in period 2. मैं आपको periodic table दिखा देता हूँ. In period 2 you have elements such as nitrogen, you have elements such as oxygen, you have elements such as fluorine, right? These guys. So nitrogen, once it gains 3 electrons, it has now 10 electrons, and the electronic configuration would look like this, right? Oxide, after gaining 2 electrons, would also have 10 electrons, also would have 2,8 electronic configuration. Fluoride, after gaining 1 electron, would also have 10 electrons, would gain 2,8 electronic configuration, right? And then neon naturally is an atom that has 2,8 electronic configuration. Now sodium, once it becomes a plus 1 charge, has 10 electrons, right? It also has 2,8 electronic configuration. Magnesium also has 2,8 electronic configuration after becoming plus 2 charge, and aluminum also has 2,8 electronic configuration after becoming plus 3 charge. So what do we see? We see that elements from here to here, right? All these elements, right? These elements, they have the same electronic configuration. So what can we make a general statement? What general statement can we make? We can say that anions of previous period and cations of next period have the same electronic configuration. Does that make sense? Right? We can write in brackets over here anions, and this is also said generally, right? Because transition metals we don't know about, right? Transition elements are confusing, right? So we're only talking group elements. Generally, anions of previous period and cations of same period have same electronic configurations. ठीक है? तो anions of previous period and cations of same period नहीं बोलते बल्कि next period. तो दिस मीन्स के इनके जो सेम इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कन्फिग्रेशन वाले एनाइंस हैं दे विल बी इन द प्रीवियस पीरियड. वी कैन राइट n-3, we can write O-2, and we can write F-1, right? So fluoride ion. So all these guys, they have the same electronic configuration as uh, Mg2 plus. Now the next, an atom. Any atom which has 2-8 electronic configuration mean 10 electrons would have to be noble, because atom जिसके outer shell में 8 electrons हो should be from group 8, right? Because the electronic configuration to noble gases can, this is present in neon. We don't have to really go in too much depth for it. This is an easy one. So the answer is neon. ठीक है? um, उसके बाद next question. This question is about sodium and compounds of sodium. Describe the metallic elements, the bonding in a metallic element such as a sodium. You may include a diagram as part of your answer. Whenever they say you may include a diagram, you should include a diagram if you can. ठीक है? And a diagram like metallic bonding one is so easy. In fact, हमारे पास तो बनी हुई ही होती है कहीं ना कहीं. तो let me go and see if I can just copy paste to save time. Um, बाजी से पढ़ाई थी metallic bonding ये रही. Right, all you have to do is just draw this diagram, right? You just have to draw this diagram like this. ठीक है? सही है? तो how do you define metallic bonding? तो metallic bonding consists, now because look at this, this is a 3 mark question, so I'm going to add some extra adjectives. All right, थोड़ा सा मैरिनेट करेंगे, right? तो how will we do that? अब यहाँ पे मैं सीधा सीधा बोलता layer of positive ions surrounded by sea of delocalized electrons, right? I would have said layer of positive ions surrounded by sea of delocalized electrons. That would be the go-to answer, right? Layer of positive ions surrounded by sea of delocalized electrons. But because it is 3 marks, so I will say metallic bonding consists of uniform layers. What word did we use? Uniform. We marinated. ठीक है? तो metallic bonding consists of uniform layers of positive metal ions surrounded by a sea of delocalized electrons. All right, surrounded by a sea of delocalized electrons. फुल स्टॉप. ठीक है? अब यहाँ पे हमारा आंसर कंप्लीट हो गया, बट आई विल फर्दर, बिकॉज इट इज 3 marks एंड आई डोंट नो I just don't feel like I have not written one more thing, which is metallic lattice structure. So I will just put a comma and say giving rise to a metallic lattice structure. Giving rise to a metallic lattice structure. Giving rise to a metallic lattice structure. ठीक है? Describe how solid sodium conducts electricity by free flowing electrons. By free flowing electrons. ठीक है? Next question. Some properties of sodium chloride are shown. Melting point 801, non-conductor of electricity when solid, वगैरह वगैरह. Name the type of bonding in sodium chloride. The bonding is ionic. All right. Explain why sodium conducts electricity when molten. So for this, only 1 mark, right? So you don't have to write a very big answer because when molten, ions of sodium chloride are able to flow freely. We know that ionic compounds have ions, and if ions, because they're charged, they flow, they will conduct electricity. That is what current is, flow of charges, right? Okay. But the ions cannot flow because ionic compounds are solid, right? And in solid state, there is no translatory motion of particles. Particles do not translatory move, right? Show exhibit translatory motion, which means they don't change their position, right? But if we melt ionic compound, then ionic compound is liquid, and in liquids the ions will be able to flow freely because in liquids there is translatory motion. Liquids are called fluids. Okay, so because they have the property to flow. So as soon as ionic compounds, when they become fluids, they find the ability to flow freely. Next question. A student determines the concentration of a solution of dilute sulfuric acid H2SO4 by titration with aqueous sodium hydroxide NaOH. He's going to find a lot of problems in his steps, right? That is something we would need to do. So step 1 says 25 centimeter cube of 0.2 mole per dm cube sodium hydroxide is transferred into a conical flask. 3 drops of methyl orange indicator are added to the conical flask. Burette is filled with H2SO4. The acid in the burette is added to the conical flask until indicator changes color. The volume of acid is recorded. This process is known as titration. The titration is repeated several times until a suitable number of results is obtained. Name a piece of apparatus used to measure exactly 25 centimeter cube of 0.2. तो exactly बोला ना 25 centimeter cube ना. So this is standard for pipette, right? So what do you need to use over here? You need to use a pipette over here. ठीक है? P-I-P-P-E-T-T-E. I think this is the spelling of pipette. If not, you guys can correct me. State the color change of methyl orange indicator in step 4. Now look at this. What was there in the conical flask before? This is what you need to know. In the conical flask, there was NaOH, right? In NaOH, methyl orange will be yellow because it is an alkali, right? And then you're adding drop by drop an acid. You're adding drop by drop H2SO4, right? So some point in time, all this NaOH would have reacted with H2SO4 and the next drop would make the solution acidic. That is what we call the end point of the reaction, right? So at the end point of the reaction, the color right before NaOH, once it is completely neutralized, meaning once every drop of H2SO4 has destroyed or finished all drops of NaOH and the remaining solution is only sodium sulfate, Na2SO4 and water. This is a neutral solution, and in neutral solution, NaOH, the methyl orange, it converts into orange color, right? That is why it's called orange, methyl orange, right? So from yellow to orange, the first color change The first color change is orange. If we keep dropping H2SO4, then H2SO4 becomes in excess, the solution becomes acidic, and then methyl orange becomes red, actually. Okay? But for now, we need to know that we have only added H2SO4 until the first color change is observed. And the first color change is observed at the end point, at the neutralization point. Okay?
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
सर पिपेट और ब्यूरेट में क्या फ़र्क होता है? यहाँ पे हम ब्यूरेट भी तो यूज़ कर सकते हैं।
Burette does not exactly fill up to 25 centimeter cube. Burette is quite large. ठीक है? When we want to measure exactly 25 centimeter cube, ठीक है? The best answer is pipette. 15, 25, 10, 5. इनके pipettes आते हैं naturally हमारे पास ना labs के अंदर. We have a 1 ml pipette, we have a 5 ml pipette, we have a 10 ml pipette, 15 ml pipette, and we have a 25 ml pipette. These are natural uh, sizes of pipettes that are present in labs. ठीक है? So whenever we want to measure exactly 25 centimeter cube, we use pipette. ठीक है? If you
ओके,
ask, sir, could we have used a burette to measure exactly 25 centimeter cube? Absolutely, we could have. ठीक है? Burette would also be a viable apparatus to use over here. It would be a reliable apparatus to use. It is quite accurate. However, we don't use two burettes in the same reaction. If we are already titrating something, so we are already using a burette once, right? We're not going to use the burette for the conical flask as well. ठीक है? तो conical flask में क्योंकि हमें जल्दी से डालना होता है एंड ब्यूरेट से डालने के लिए 10 चीजें करनी पड़ती हैं. मैं आपको मिसाल देता हूँ जैसे कि इन अ ब्यूरेट whenever you start using a burette, first you have to wash the burette. चलो, you might also have to wash the pipette. ठीक है? But then you would also have to calibrate the burette. You never have to calibrate a pipette because a pipette is of fixed volume. वो प्लास्टिक या ग्लास की बनी हुई होती है. उसका साइज ता कयामत अगर 25 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब की पिपेट है तो 25 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब ही रहेगा. But the burette you need to calibrate. Burette में there could be errors, there could be zero error, there could be negative zero error, positive zero error, those things. ठीक है? तो इस वजह से burette is not a fast fast way of calculating fixed volumes, but pipettes are. ठीक है? um, Next
ओके
question
सर।
is, state how the student decides that a suitable number of results have been obtained. How does the student know that suitable number of results have been obtained? Well, um, what do you mean by obtaining suitable results? Obtaining suitable results means that we have obtained at least a few results which are so close to each other that they are in the difference of zero point 0.1 or zero point 0.2 centimeter cube, right? They go what in titration we find out the unknown concentration by finding out unknown volume, right? जो भी ब्यूरेट के अंदर हम ड्रॉप बाय ड्रॉप चीज गिरा रहे होते हैं उस चीज का वॉल्यूम हम फाइंड कर रहे होते हैं. जैसे कि मिसाल के तौर पे रिएक्शन के दौरान H2SO4 ब्यूरेट से ड्रॉप बाय ड्रॉप गिर रहा है, राइट? सो वी आर एक्चुअली ड्यूरिंग द रिएक्शन वी आर गोइंग टू फाइंड आउट द वॉल्यूम, राइट? यहाँ पे कहीं लिखा होगा द वॉल्यूम ऑफ एसिड इज रिकॉर्डेड. दिस इज व्हाट वी आर डूइंग आफ्टर टाइट्रेशन, राइट? वी आर रिकॉर्डिंग द वॉल्यूम ऑफ एसिड, राइट? तो एक दफा वॉल्यूम ऑफ एसिड आया 25.6, एक दफा वॉल्यूम ऑफ एसिड आया 25.1, एक दफा वॉल्यूम ऑफ एसिड आया 24.9, एक दफा वॉल्यूम ऑफ एसिड आया 25.9. ठीक है? सही. लेट्स सपोज दीज फोर. क्या हम लोग सूटेबल रिजल्ट तक पहुंच गए हैं? तो जवाब है जी, हम लोग सूटेबल रिजल्ट तक पहुंच गए. हाउ? 25.1 and 24.9 are two things that are close to each other by zero point 0.2. I said a maximum of 0.2 error should be there. वैसे तो 0.2 भी नहीं, 0.1 का डिफरेंस होना चाहिए. These guys will be considered anomalies and they will be removed. और हम बोलेंगे कि ये हमारा जो है accurate answer है. ठीक है? तो how do we know a suitable result is obtained? As long as two or more values are not close enough to each other. ठीक है? तो यहाँ पे लिख देते हैं कि as long as two or more values which have a difference of zero point 0.1 or zero point 0.2 are not obtained. full stop. ठीक है, this is how you are going to do it. Next question. 20 centimeter cube of H2SO4 reacts with 25 centimeter cube of 0.2 mole per dm cube NaOH. The equation for reaction is shown. H2SO4 plus 2 NaOH gives Na2SO4 plus 2H2O. Calculate the concentration of H2SO4 using the following steps. Calculate the number of moles in 25 centimeter cube of 0.2 mole per dm cube NaOH. Well, they have told us everything. Here's the volume, here's the concentration. How to find moles? Mole is equals to concentration multiplied by volume, right? Concentration is 0.2 multiplied by volume is 25, but the volume is always in exams, you should know that volume is always given in centimeter cube. You should always convert it into dm cube because concentration is in mole per dm cube. ठीक है, सही है. So what is 0.2 multiplied by 25 upon 1000? I believe it is 0.2 would be 5. 5 upon 1000 is 0.005, right? 5 multiplied by 10 की power minus 3 is also just the same, बल्कि even better. It is good to write in standard forms. ठीक है. Next, determine the number of moles of H2SO4 that react with NaOH. All right. So over here we have to do the mole ratio. H2SO4 is to NaOH. Judging from the equation, we see that 2 moles of NaOH react with 1 mole of H2SO4. H2SO4 के पास कुछ भी नहीं है, 1 है और इसके साथ 2 लगा हुआ है. ठीक है, सही है. So now we need to find out how many moles will react with 5 into 10 to the power minus 3 moles of NaOH. So x की value is equals to 5 into 10 की power minus 3 divided by 2, right? Because ये मल्टीप्लाई में जाती है वैल्यू, ये डिवाइड में आ जाती है. इसके वैल्यू क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई है ना, राइट? वी जस्ट क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई में ये 2 इधर मल्टीप्लाई हो रहा होगा, उधर जाके डिवाइड हो गया. आई जस्ट स्किप दैट स्टेप. ठीक है. तो व्हाट विल बी द वैल्यू ऑफ x? x would become 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 3 moles, right? So the answer would be 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 3 moles. ठीक है, 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 3. Calculate the concentration of H2SO4. H2SO4 की अब concentration आपसे पूछी गई है. ठीक है. So it's at 20 centimeter cube of H2SO4, right? So the volume is given, right? So concentration is equal to mole upon volume. And we have to say the volume in mole per dm cube. ठीक है, तो मोल है 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 3 divided by 20 divided by 1000 लिख लें या मल्टीप्लाई बाय 10 की पावर माइनस 3 लिख लें, एक ही बात है. ये दोनों आपस में कैंसिल हो गए. 2.5 अपॉन 20 1 अपॉन 8 हो जाएगा. तो हमारा आंसर आ जाएगा 0.125 because 1 upon 8 is 0.125. You guys don't believe me, you can confirm it yourself. फाइनल आंसर आपका 0.125 मोल पर डीएम क्यूब आ रहा होगा. In exams, you don't usually in physics especially you write answers to two significant figure, but this is chemistry. It doesn't really matter. ठीक है, it's better to write it in three significant figures. Next question. This question is about compounds of सल्फर. ठीक है, सल्फर के कंपाउंड्स के बारे में क्वेश्चन है. सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड H2SO4 is manufactured using contact process. This manufacture involves 4 stages. Molten sulfur burns in air to produce sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide reacts with oxygen to form sulfur trioxide. This is the reversible step, right? Stage 2. Stage 3, sulfur trioxide combines with concentrated sulfuric acid to form oleum. And then stage 4, oleum reacts to form concentrated sulfuric acid. Exactly how it is mentioned in the notes as well. Write a chemical equation for reaction occurring at stage 1. Stage 1 is combustion of sulfur to produce sulfur dioxide. So S plus O2 gives SO2. That is the equation. ठीक है. Next, we have state the essential condition that are necessary for stage 2. Write an equation for the chemical reaction that occurs. बेटा देखो, SO2 जब convert होता है into SO3, this is the equation that is written. ठीक है, you might also balance it. It's 4 marks. So how do you balance it? You put a 2 over here and you put a 2 over here and the equation gets balanced. ठीक है, सही है. The conditions required is, since this is a reversible reaction, Optimum conditions are considered. Optimum are considered. Full stop. ठीक है. A pressure of for contact process, we do not need a lot of pressure. 1 to 2 atmosphere is provided. Temperature, TEMP or TEUR, the of temperature is the same as the temperature in Haber process, which is 450 degrees Celsius. ठीक है. And V2O5, बल्कि वेनेडियम पेंटाऑक्साइड पूरा लिख लो. वेनेडियम पेंटा ऑक्साइड. ठीक है. ब्रैकेट में फॉर्मूला लिख लें. V2O5 as catalyst is used. Full stop. ठीक है. This should give you 3 marks, 4 marks completely. One for equation, one for pressure, one for temperature, and one for catalyst. ठीक है. सही है. Next question. Write a chemical equation for the reaction occurring in stage 3. In stage 3, you have sulfur trioxide SO3 reacting with pure sulfuric acid, right? Concentrated sulfuric acid. Yeah. So reacting with H2SO4 to produce fuming sulfuric acid, which is oleum. H2 S2O7, right? This is the equation. All right. Next question. Name the substance that reacts with oleum in stage 4. In stage 4, what do we add to oleum to make it pure concentrated sulfuric acid, which is 98% in concentration? It's called water, right? We use water. Now over here, a lot of students would just write H2O. Okay, don't write H2O, write water. Okay, because it says name. It does not say write the formula. It says name. So please write name. Okay. Next question. Hydrogen sulfide has the formula H2S. Complete the dot and cross diagram to show the electron arrangement in molecule of hydrogen sulfide. So each hydrogen has 1 electron that you should know. Okay, and each sulfur would share 1 electron that you should also know. Okay, then each sulfur has a total of 6 electrons in its valence shell, so 4 will be outside. Okay, so this is how the dot and cross diagram should look like. Next question. Balance the chemical equation. H2SO4 reacting with SO2 gives S plus H2O. In a question like this, to balance an equation, you balance the element last. Wherever you see that something is in its pure form, यानी कोई compound नहीं है बल्कि element है, S है या O2 होता या F2 होता, कभी भी कोई एक सिंगल एलिमेंट हो इक्वेशन में एक तरफ, उसको सबसे आखिर में बैलेंस करना है, बाकी सबको पहले, क्योंकि आप फ्रैक्शन लगा सकते हो फिर. ठीक है. सही है. तो like for example, look at this. There are 2 oxygens over here, right? So you put a 2 over here. Now there are 2 oxygens over here as well. ठीक है. Now because there are 2 oxygens over here, ठीक है. So you put a 2 over here. Now there are two twos are 4 hydrogens on this side, 4 hydrogens on this side. Now because of that, there are 2 sulfur and 1 sulfur. 2 plus 1, that is 3 sulfurs, right? So you just put a 3 upon 2 over here. बल्कि नहीं, it's only a 3, right? तो S2 थोड़ी है, तो खाली 3 यहाँ पे पुट कर देंगे आखिर में, तो आपके पास टोटली सब कुछ बैलेंस हो गया. ऑलवेज बैलेंस द एलिमेंट इन द लास्ट, इन द एंड. ठीक है. तो ऑलवेज बैलेंस एलिमेंट इन द एंड. Next question, we have question number 5. Ethanoic acid is manufactured by the reaction of methanol with carbon monoxide. An equilibrium mixture is produced. CH3OH plus CO double whatever. State 2 characteristics of reversible reaction. 2 characteristics are forward reaction is equal to, यार ऐसे नहीं लिखो, तमीज से लिख लेते हैं बल्कि. सही है. तो फॉरवर्ड रिएक्शन नहीं, इट्स रेट ऑफ फॉरवर्ड रिएक्शन. रेट ऑफ forward reaction is equal to rate of reaction. So that is the first. And the second characteristic, what else do we need to know about this? So concentration of products and reactants, concentration of products and reactants becomes equal. All right. So products and reactants, their concentrations, it becomes equal. Next question. The purpose of industrial process is to produce a high yield of ethanoic acid at a high rate of reaction. The manufacture is carried out at a temperature of 300 degrees Celsius. The forward reaction is exothermic. Use this information below to state why the manufacture is not carried out at temperatures below 300 degrees Celsius and above 300 degrees Celsius. All right. So listen. देखें, reaction is exothermic. This is a problem that is going to be asked a lot of times. ठीक है? This is a tricky question. ठीक है? In the Haber process, we have learned that uh, the reaction takes place at 450 degrees, right? Haber process में forward reaction exothermic था. तो यानी कि अगर हम टेम्परेचर कम कर दें तो फॉरवर्ड रिएक्शन बढ़ जाना चाहिए, मतलब अमाउंट ऑफ प्रोडक्ट फॉर्म्ड ज्यादा होना चाहिए एट इक्विलिब्रियम, राइट? फॉर एग्जांपल, instead of 300 degrees Celsius over here, if we do the reaction at 200 degrees Celsius, maybe abhi at 350% product is forming, maybe at 200 degrees Celsius 60% product might be forming. ठीक है, मतलब more product might be forming, but it would take lesser, मतलब it would take more time, right? Reaction would become slow. ठीक है, rate of reaction would decrease, rate of reaction would decrease. The speed at which the reaction would be happening would become less. देखें, एक चीज होती है amount of product formed at equilibrium, amount of reactant formed at equilibrium, ठीक है, position of equilibrium, ये एक चीज है. और दूसरी चीज है speed of a reaction, कितनी जल्दी वो equilibrium achieve हो रहा है. Meaning, if we do the reaction at 300 degrees Celsius and we attain 50%, but at doing it at 300 degrees Celsius, we are having it happen in 2 hours. But if we do it at 300 200 degrees Celsius and we achieve 60%, yes, we are obtaining more product, but we are obtaining it in 6 hours. So this is already a problem. In 6 hours we are obtaining 60%, that is 10% for every hour. But at 300 degrees Celsius in 2 hours we are obtaining 50%, that is 25% for every hour. So which is better? 25% is better, right? So we are producing more per hour. Matlab rate of producing is faster at a higher temperature. So rate of reaction would decrease, right? And then if we go above 300 degrees Celsius, of course, the reaction is exothermic. The more temperature you increase, the less product will form at equilibrium because the reaction is exothermic, right? So backward reaction will take place. So you don't want to do that. Amount of backward reaction would increase. Yeah, amount of product formed at equilibrium would decrease. Amount of product formed at equilibrium would decrease. Full stop. Next question. Complete the table using only the words increases, decreases, or no change. ठीक है? So what happens when you add a catalyst? Well, adding a catalyst does not change the position of equilibrium. So effect on equilibrium yield, so there is no change. ठीक है, सही है. Effect on the rate of forward reaction. So what would happen to rate of forward reaction when you add a catalyst? Better rate of forward reaction, rate of backward reaction, the rate of reaction would always increase whenever you add a catalyst. Remember that. ठीक है, तो this will increase. ठीक है, सही है. Increases बोला तो increases लिख लो. ठीक है. Decreasing pressure, you have to count the number of moles, right, of gas. All right, so there are 1 plus 1, 2 moles of gas over here, uh, and then 1 mole of gas over here. We say that increase in pressure is favored by side with lesser number of moles, and decrease in pressure is favored by side with more number of moles. The effect of on the equilibrium yield of CH3COOH, ethanoic acid बनना कम हो जाएगा या ज्यादा हो जाएगा? Because there are more moles on the backward side, increased pressure would be favored by the backward side, right? तो यानी कि लेस इथेनोइक एसिड वुड प्रोड्यूस, दिस वुड डिक्रीज, this decreases. ठीक है, सही है. And what about the rate of forward reaction? Of course, the rate of forward reaction would decrease. That is why the yield of ethanoic acid is decreasing. So this will automatically also be set to decrease. ठीक है. Next question. Suggest which of the following metals is a suitable catalyst for reaction. Give a reason for your answer. Aluminum, calcium, cobalt, magnesium, potassium. But if you look at a question like this and you have to choose and you don't know which catalyst, just choose the transition element because transition elements act as catalyst. This is a group 3, this is a group 2, this is a group 2, and this is a group 1 element. Group elements cannot be used as catalyst. ठीक है. Cobalt is a transition element, so we can say cobalt. All right, cobalt. And what is the reason that we've chosen cobalt? It is a transition element. It is a all right. Next question. Ethanoic acid is a member of homologous series of carboxylic acids. State the general formula of this homologous series. Carboxylic acids का general formula लिखना है. तो the easiest way is to write CnH2nO2. ठीक है, ये आपका easiest way. ठीक है, say CnH2nO2. This satisfies the formula of all carboxylic acids. ठीक है, वरना दूसरा तरीका आपको क्या बताया है, आप लिखो CnH2n+1 COOH. ठीक है, लेकिन अगर आप ये लिखते हो तो फिर आपको इसके अंदर स्पेसिफाई करना होता है कि n इज वन लेस देन टोटल नंबर ऑफ कार्बन. ठीक है, n वेयर n इज वन लेस देन टोटल नंबर ऑफ कार्बन. ठीक है, जैसे कि मिसाल के तौर पे इथेनोइक एसिड का हमने फॉर्मूला पढ़ा है CH3COOH, राइट. दिस कैन बी रिटन एज C2H4O2, राइट. दिस satisfies this formula as well. ठीक है. Draw the structure of carboxylic acid containing three carbons. Show all the atoms and all the bonds. ठीक है, containing थ्री कार्बन एटम्स है बेटा, तो ऑल एटम्स और ऑल बॉन्ड्स बोले मैं, थ्री कार्बन्स बना दिए. कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड है तो डबल बॉन्ड होगा ऑक्सीजन के साथ, और O और H इस तरह होगा, और इन पे हाइड्रोजन्स लगे हुए होंगे. ठीक है, a pretty easy question, uh, because propanoic acid is an acid that is usually taught to draw in classes as well. Next question. When a carboxylic acid reacts with alcohol, esters are produced. The formula of ester X is CH3, CH2, CH2, COO, CH3. All right. Name ester X. Um, when carboxylic acid react with alcohols, esters are produced. The formula of ester X is CH3, CH2, CH2, COO, CH3. अब यहाँ पर जो है ना बेटा, यहाँ पर आपको पता होना चाहिए कि in this type of question, always consider that the first side is the side which is from the carboxylic acid, which is from the carboxylic acid. ठीक है, क्यों? Because when you open the structure up and when you draw the structure like this, you will see that the structure is the CH3, CH2, CH2, और उसके बाद जो C है वो डबल बॉन्ड टू ऑक्सीजन है, सिंगल बॉन्ड टू दिस ऑक्सीजन है, एंड बॉन्डेड टू CH3 है. आपको बताया गया है कि ऑलवेज ब्रेक दिस बॉन्ड, and the side with the carbon oxygen double bond is the alkanoate side, right. And the side with no carbon oxygen double bond is the alkyl side, right. So because the alkyl side only contains one carbon and the name is always given as alkanoate, right. The name is always alkanoate, the name will become methyl because of the presence of one carbon, and then because of the presence of four carbon, it's going to be called नोएट, राइट। 1 2 3 4, इन 4 कार्बन की वजह से ब्यूटानोएट। दिस इज हाउ यू विल ऑलवेज हैव टू राइट द आंसर्स। गिव द नेम ऑफ कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड एंड अल्कोहल दैट रिएक्ट टुगेदर टू प्रोड्यूस एक्स। तो कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड, बिकॉज ब्यूटानोएट आया था तो ब्यूटानोइक एसिड चाहिए होगा आपको। एंड बिकॉज मिथाइल है तो आपको मिथानॉल चाहिए होगा। अल्कोहल आपको मिथानॉल चाहिए, ठीक है। तो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है, एस्टर वाई हैज द फॉलोइंग composition by mass, calculate the empirical formula. So how do you calculate empirical formula? You start with the ratio carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. The percentage of carbon is 48.65, the percentage of hydrogen is 8.11, the percentage of oxygen is 43.24. Guys, I would request that some of you have a calculator ready to answer the questions, ठीक है। So the first thing we do is, the percentages हैं, we just consider them as masses and we divide them by the ARs, ठीक है। um, so divide by 12, divide by 1 and divide by 16. What are the answers? तो ये हो जाएगा 4 point something, 4.5।
4.5
4.5 के आगे कुछ है, होगा
4.0
4.50,
05
505। तो चलो 4.5 ही लिख लो, 1 डेसिमल प्लेस भी काफी
नहीं
है।
नहीं 4.0
4.05।
है।
ओके ओके, 4.05 तो 2 डेसिमल प्लेस लिखना पड़ेगा। और 8.11 ये भाई हो गए। और 43.24 डिवाइड बाय 16 कितना होगा?
2.70
2.70, ठीक है। देन द नेक्स्ट थिंग वी डू इज ऑलवेज, व्हाट डू वी डू नेक्स्ट is we divide them by the smallest number. So we divide them by 2.70, divide them by 2.70 and divide them by 2.70. So what do we get?
1.5
We get 1.5 over here, exact,
yeah
mashallah. And then
3.0
3.0 यानी कि 3 हो जाएगा ये।
3
And then this is 1. 1.5 is to 3 is to 1, सही है। अच्छा, whenever you have 1.5 like this, or you have 1.33, or you have 1.67, or you have 1.25, or you have 1.125, ये सारी वैल्यूज यू कैन नॉट जस्ट राउंड देम ऑफ। इन वैल्यूज को आपको अप्रोक्सीमेट करने के लिए मल्टीप्लाई करना पड़ता है। 1.125 इज मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 8 टू गिव अ होल नंबर, 1.25 इज मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 4 to give a whole number, 1.33 is multiplied by 3, 1.5 is multiplied by 2
2
and 1.67 is multiplied by 3, ठीक है। so yeah, these are the 5 identities you have to remember. If you did not remember them, just write them down or quickly take a screenshot because they will be erased. um, अब यहाँ पर because it is 1.5, so we are going to have to multiply it by 2, सही है। we are going to have to multiply it by 2। तो हमारा जो आंसर आ जाएगा कार्बन इज टू हाइड्रोजन इज टू ऑक्सीजन का, वो आ जाएगा 1.5 टाइम्स 2 इज 3 इज टू 6 इज टू 2, राइट। तो हमारा एम्पेरिकल फॉर्मूला 3:6:2 हो गया। C3H6O2। For a second I was like, can't it be simplified? But then I thought 3 and 2 can't come in the same table, ठीक है। तो हमारा जो एम्पेरिकल फॉर्मूला है वो C3H6O2 हो गया। Next question. Ester Z has the empirical formula C2H4O and a relative molecular mass of 88. Determine the molecular formula. To calculate the molecular formula, what was the way to do it? We do it like this. Empirical formula multiply by molecular mass divided by empirical formula mass, right? ठीक है। empirical formula mass जो है वो यहाँ से आपको पता चल जाएगा, राइट। तो 12 टाइम्स 2 प्लस 1 टाइम्स 4, बार बार पेस्ट का ऑप्शन आ रहा है ना। भी यार, कुछ नहीं कर सकते फिर तो। 12 times 2, 1 times 4, एंड ओ तो सिर्फ एक ही है, तो 1 times 16, ठीक है। तो व्हाट इज द आंसर फॉर द,
44।
हाँ,
44।
44। ऑलराइट, तो एम्पेरिकल फॉर्मूला इज C2H4O, और 88/44 मल्टीप्लाई होंगी ये चीजें आपस में। 88/44 इज 2, तो C2H4O मल्टीप्लाई बाय 2, हमारा आंसर हो जाएगा C4H8O2। तो द मोलिकुलर फॉर्मूला इज C4H8O2। ऑलराइट, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, दिस क्वेश्चन इज अबाउट जिंक कंपाउंड्स। ये अगला क्वेश्चन जो है बेटा आपका जिंक कंपाउंड से रिलेटेड है। लेट्स लुक एट द क्वेश्चन। जिंक इज एक्सट्रैक्टेड फ्रॉम इट्स ओर, ओ दिस इज एब्सोल्युटली रिमूव्ड, देयर इज नो नीड टू स्टडी दिस। जिंक रिमूव हो चुका है फ्रॉम योर सिलेबस। जिंक को उसके ओर से कैसे सेपरेट किया जाता है, नेम, रिड्यूसिंग एजेंट वगैरह वगैरह, ऑल दीज आर जस्ट एक्स्ट्रा स्टेट वन अदर ऑब्जर्वेशन दैट इंडिकेट्स जिंक कार्बोनेट इज इन एक्सेस, ठीक है। आई थिंक आई थिंक वी कैन डू दिस क्वेश्चन, ठीक है। सही है, तो दिस होल क्वेश्चन, पार्ट ए इज रिमूव्ड, नेम द ओर ऑफ जिंक। वैसे जिंक ब्लेंड नाम होता है ओर का, ठीक है, जिंक ब्लेंड नाम होता है, लेकिन नहीं, वो भी याद करने की आपको जरूरत नहीं, छोड़ दें, ठीक है। डिस्क्राइब हाउ जिंक इज कन्वर्टेड, नो नीड, नो नीड, नो नीड, नो नीड, ठीक है। अच्छा, ये बात आपको पता होनी चाहिए। स्टेट द नेम ऑफ फिजिकल चेंज occurring when zinc gas is converted into molten zinc, right? So they're basically asking you to name the change in state from gas to liquid. This is condensation, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, zinc sulfate crystals ZnSO4.7H2 are hydrated. Zinc sulfate crystals are made by reacting zinc carbonate with dilute sulfuric acid. The equation for all the overall process is shown. Zinc carbonate plus H2SO4 gives plus water gives zinc sulfate plus carbon dioxide. Okay, sure. Large pieces of solid zinc carbonate are added to dilute sulfuric acid until the zinc carbonate is in excess. This forms aqueous zinc sulfate. The excess zinc carbonate is separated. Okay, so the first thing is, how do we know zinc carbonate is in excess? Because insoluble solid remains. Because insoluble solid remains even after effervescence stops. पूरा आंसर तो ये होगा, even after the effervescence, EFFERVESCENCE, effervescence stops, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, name a different substance other than zinc carbonate that can be added to dilute sulfuric acid to produce aqueous zinc sulfate in step 1, ठीक है। तो स्टेप 1 में aqueous zinc sulfate प्रोड्यूस करवाना है, तो जिंक कार्बोनेट से। Name a different substance other than zinc carbonate that can be added to dilute sulfuric acid to produce aqueous zinc sulfate। तो जिंक कार्बोनेट के अलावा और कौन है जो कि हम डाल सकते हैं? बहुत आसान है, जिंक ऑक्साइड डाल सकते हैं, राइट, उससे भी जिंक सल्फेट प्रोड्यूस हो जाएगा। प्योर मेटल जिंक भी डाल सकते हैं, उससे भी जिंक सल्फेट प्रोड्यूस हो जाएगा। तो जिंक मेटल और जिंक ऑक्साइड। Next question, step 1 is repeated using powdered zinc carbonate instead of large pieces. All other conditions are kept the same. The rate of reaction increases. Give reason why rate of reaction increases. So why does rate of reaction increases when we powder something? Whenever we powder or crush something and make it into smaller pieces, the smaller the particle size, greater the surface area, right? तो powdered zinc has a greater surface area. Full stop. This means that more collisions of reactants can take place now, increasing chance of successful collision. Suggest what is observed when the solution is saturated in step 3. The saturated solution is allowed to cool and crystallize. तो आपको ये दिखेगा कि precipitates form हो रहे हैं, right? ओ स्टेप 3 में बोल रहे हैं, स्टेप 4 में नहीं बोल रहे हैं, स्टेप 3 में बोल रहे हैं. So the aqueous zinc sulfate is heated until a saturated solution is formed. जैसे ही saturated solution form होता है तो आपको क्या नजर आएगा? आपको प्रेसिपिटेट्स नजर आएंगे ना, जिंक सल्फेट के प्रेसिपिटेट्स नजर आएंगे. तो आप ये लिख देंगे कि सजेस्ट व्हाट इज ऑब्जर्व्ड. सारी लाइनें क्यों दी हुई हैं? प्रेसिपिटेट्स precipitates of zinc sulfate ZnSO4 will start to form. Full stop. Next question. The formula of zinc sulfate crystals is ZnSO4.7H2O. Give the formula of solid form if the crystals are heated to dryness in step 3. अगर heated to dryness कर दें यानी कि सारा water evaporate करा दें तो खाली ZnSO4 बच जाएगा. All the water has been removed. Next question. The periodic table can be used to classify elements. Group 1 elements react with cold water to form alkaline solutions. Place group 1 elements cesium, lithium, potassium, and rubidium and sodium in their order of reactivity with water. Most reactive कौन होगा, least reactive कौन होगा? We know that reactivity increases down the group, meaning lithium should be least reactive. तो lithium should be least reactive. उसके बाद सोडियम आता है, उसके बाद पोटेशियम आता है, उसके बाद रुबीडियम आएगा, उसके बाद मोस्ट रिएक्टिव आपका सीजियम होगा, CAESIUM सीजियम. और उससे ज्यादा रिएक्टिव फ्रेंसियम होता है, बट फ्रेंसियम इज रेडियो एक्टिव, उसके बारे में बात नहीं करते. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज नेम द अल्कलाइन सॉल्यूशन फॉर्म्ड व्हेन सीजियम रिएक्ट्स विद कोल्ड वाटर. तो सीजियम हाइड्रोक्साइड बनता है, राइट? दे फॉर्म हाइड्रोक्साइड, CAESIUM सीजियम हाइड्रो oxide. ठीक है, hydroxide. Next question. Group 1 elements have lower melting points than transition elements. Describe one other difference in physical property of group 1 element and transition element. तो one other difference in physical property, right? तो उनके lower melting boiling points तो होते ही हैं. तो कोई और physical property क्या है ग्रुप 1 elements और transition elements के दरमियान में? फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टी की बात कर रहे हैं, ठीक है? तो फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टी के अंदर आपके पास ये नहीं लिखा जाएगा कि दे फॉर्म कलर्ड कंपाउंड्स या दे एक्ट एज कैटलिस्ट या दे हैव वेरिएबल ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट. दे आर केमिकल प्रॉपर्टीज. वन अदर फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टी में आ जाएगा, दे हैव हाई डेंसिटी. ट्रांजिशन एलिमेंट्स हैव हाई डेंसिटी, दीज गाइस हैव लो डेंसिटी. ठीक है, सही है. तो ग्रुप 1 एलिमेंट्स हैव लो डेंसिटी एंड आर सॉफ्ट. दो रीजंस लिख देते हैं हम तो, चलो, एंड आर सॉफ्ट. ठीक है, सॉफ्ट भी होते हैं. The next बात है, group 7 elements are known as halogens. Astatine is below iodine in group 7. Predict the physical state of astatine at room temperature and pressure. We know that melting boiling point increases down the group. Fluorine and chlorine are gases. Bromine is liquid. Iodine is solid. So the next one should also be solid, right? So astatine should also be solid. Some group 7 elements react with aqueous solutions containing halide ions, right? तो क्या फरमा रहे हैं कि ग्रुप 7 एलिमेंट जो है वो aqueous solutions से रिएक्ट करते हैं और हैलाइड आयंस बनते हैं. When aqueous chlorine is added to aqueous potassium bromide, a reaction occurs. The ionic half equation for reactions are shown. तो क्लोरीन जो है वो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स गेन करके क्लोराइड बना रहा है, ब्रोमाइड जो है वो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स लूज करके ब्रोमीन बना रहा है. Describe the color change of the solution. Original color of potassium bromide solution. पोटेशियम ब्रोमाइड का ओरिजिनल कलर क्या होगा? बेटा देखें, क्योंकि ये आयोनिक कंपाउंड ग्रुप 1 एलिमेंट का है तो ओरिजिनल कलर जो है कुछ नहीं होगा, कलरलेस या ट्रांसपेरेंट होगा, राइट? कलरलेस स्लैश ट्रांसपेरेंट, राइट? कलरलेस या ट्रांसपेरेंट होगा. नेक्स्ट, फाइनल कलर ऑफ सॉल्यूशन मिक्सचर. ठीक है, तो after bromine has been produced, we know that aqueous bromine, liquid bromine is brown in color, right? So we can say brown in color, right? Next question, identify the species that is oxidized. Explain your decision. Species you're oxidized. कौन सी species oxidized हुई है बेटा? Oxidized कौन होता है? जो कि इलेक्ट्रॉन लूज कर देता है, ये जिसका ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट कम हो जाता है, राइट? तो यहाँ पे आप ये देखें कि ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट कम हो गया, ये हो गई ऑक्सीडेशन, राइट? तो bromide is oxidized, Br minus bromide. Bromide is oxidized, and why is it oxidized? It loses electrons. एक ये बात है, इस तरीके से भी लिख सकते हैं, या फिर इट्स ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट इंक्रीजेस फ्रॉम -1 to 0. दोनों बातें सही हैं. इट लूजेस इलेक्ट्रॉन्स नहीं, इट लूजेस एन इलेक्ट्रॉन. Next question. Bromine monochloride, BrCl, is made from the reaction between bromine and chlorine. The chemical equation is shown. Bromine और chlorine आपस में react करके bromine monochloride बनाते हैं. Calculate the overall energy change for the reaction using bond energies. ठीक है? They have made this so easy for us, so we're just going to use what they are saying. ठीक है? Calculate the total amount of energy required to break the bonds in 1 mole of Br2 and 1 mole of Cl2, right? So Br2 is Br bonded to Br, right? And Cl2 is Cl bonded to Cl, right? So अगर ये bond टूटना है, how many times this bond has to break? Once and once, right? Because both are 1 moles. So 1 multiplied by Br bond is 190 and 1 multiplied by chlorine bond is 242. सही है? तो the answer would be 190 kilojoules, right? And the answer would be 242 kilojoules. ठीक है? सही है? Because the energy is required, so we can just write them as positive. We can just write them as positive, right? So what is 190 and 242 added together?
432.
क्या बोला? 4
32.
132, right? So 432 kilojoules of energy is what will be required. Calculate the total amount of energy released when 2 moles of BrCl, क्योंकि 2 mole BrCl प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है. 2 BrCl का मतलब है कि 2 multiplied by bromine chlorine bond, right? So bromine chlorine bond is of 218, so 2 multiplied by -218. I put the value negative because this is energy released, and energy released is always negative. 2 times 200 minus 218 is minus 400 and कितना? 36 minus 436. So this value can be written as minus 436 kilojoules. ठीक है. Overall energy would be 432 minus 436. तो ये तो बहुत ही करीब है, तो आंसर क्या आ गया? -4. 4 का डिफरेंस है दोनों में, तो हमारा डेल्टा एच जो है -4 आ गया. तो फाइनल आंसर हमारा क्या होगा? -4 किलो जूल्स पर मोल. सही. ठीक है. तो फर्स्ट यू फाइंड द total amount of energy that is going to be released, because 1 mole of bromine and 1 mole of chlorine were reacting, so 1 multiply by amount of energy required to break bromine bonds and 1 multiply by amount of energy required to break chlorine bonds, right? वो आप टेबल से निकालते हो और फिर उसके बाद आप ये कैलकुलेट आउट कर लेते हो. दिस इज अ वेरी इजी क्वेश्चन और इसके बाद हमारा पेपर हो जाता है मुकम्मल.